Hey friends, Dr. Larry. Question of the day. Are you raising the kind of kids you want? Are you raising a child that other people say, wow, that child is exceptional, is gracious, is thoughtful, is trustworthy? Are you and your spouse at night enjoying your favorite, beverage together saying, my goodness, don't we just have the best kids ever? If that's not the case, then it's probably time to improve your discipline technique. I know, I said it, the dreaded D word. And before you leave, I'm not talking about grabbing belts or switches. I'm talking about consistency in setting up guardrails and expectations for your child. And so here's what I see in clinic. That consistency on your part as the parent can make your discipline overall less frustrating and certainly less frequent, especially when you start early. So most importantly, it's really your best chance at developing the great kids they're meant to be. So stay tuned, because I'm gonna give you a test so that you can rate the strength of your parenting. We'll talk about the dreaded D word, what it is and what it isn't. And of course, I'm not gonna leave you without some tips to get started on leveling up your discipline skills. Now, the only thing in this video that's in need of a good thrashing is that like button. No, I'm serious. Go hit the like button. No, stop hitting your sister. Gentle hands. Now hit that like button. James, Jonathan, Jingleheimer, Schmidt, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, hit the like button. All right, so if you're at least smirking at that, it's because you know that is what discipline looks like in many homes. An endless cycle of repeating yourself, and repeating yourself, and repeating yourself until either you do it, you pick up the socks and put away the laundry, or World War III breaks out. Now, I'm not recommending abusive practices towards children. There is absolutely no room for that. This is really for loving parents who are struggling to have their kids listen and be responsive. And so let's take a test. How strong is your discipline? We're about to find out. Test time. Scenario number 1. So I want you to imagine your child is playing video game. You tell your child, please pause the game and take out the laundry from the dryer. Does your child A, reply, sure thing. Yes, mom and dad, I'd love to. B, does your child just ignore you, waiting for the 8th or 9th time when they can really sense you mean it, because your face is red and your hands are white and your volume is really stern, and then maybe they reluctantly jump into action? Or C, do they start arguing how it's someone else's turn and their responsibility and job and da-da-da-da, and why do I always get asked, all these things to do? All right, which one is your child? So if you said A, your discipline is likely strong. If you said B, you're likely in the struggling category. And C, if you got C, it's probably weak sauce. All right, let's get on to question number 2. So you catch your child hitting their sibling and you tell them to go take a time out. Does your child A, go to the corner calmly? B, argue with you about 10 minutes about what you didn't see and how unfair life is and how unfair you are and unfit maybe as a parent? Or C, do you take them physically to the corner as your consequence, and as you try to hold them there, they're leaving the corner every 2 seconds or when your back is turned? Again, if it's A, your discipline is likely strong, so kudos to you. If it's B, you're struggling a little bit. If it's C, it's on the weak side, guys. So I hear your groans. Dr. Mitnaul, my oldest daughter is perfectly compliant, but this son of mine is crazy. Or I've had 2 other kids and none of them have reacted this way. Or I see other kids from my friends who are parents. We do about the same thing and mine is much, much worse. What gives? So you may be saying, Dr. Larry, can't kids have different temperaments and personalities? The answer is yes, and check out my video on child temperament challenges. Or 2, can kids who have gone through different difficult things like trauma be more reactive in their behaviors? Yes. And again, be sure to check out my video on PTSD and understanding what that might look like. Or Dr. Larry, my son or daughter has, fill in the blank diagnosis. Could that help to explain some of the problematic behaviors or why it feels like certain approaches don't work? Yes. And here's the truth. Your best chance still for raising capable, confident, and grateful kids is for you to improve your discipline skills. It's okay to know that your style is weak. The tragedy would be doing nothing about it Remember, I'm not talking, spanking, shaming, or forced labor, although I am a fan of chores, but that's a future episode. So even though it sounds like a dirty word, we all know how impressed we are by discipline in our daily lives. Some of you know that my favorite NBA player is Stephen Curry because that guy can shoot the lights out. And so, and you watch him shoot 3-point shots, from half court. So if you're watching and witnessing the fruit of his enormous discipline, it's really impressive to watch. And so obviously, Steph Curry is a person who's both greatly talented and greatly disciplined. So let's get it closer to home. Try this exercise. Isn't it hard to imagine the young kid who, at 5 or 6 is helping to put away the laundry, who when asked to pass the milk at the dinner table at 8 or 9 is saying, yes, please, and thank you. Or the 16-year-old who's holding doors open and visiting neighbors, giving them great treats or calling their grandmother when they're sick. How likely is it that kid turns into a bigger guy who is so upset and so frustrated that they're breaking controllers every day or punching holes in walls? Now, again, none of this predicts that child at 16, but it's less likely. It's less likely when we're doing the things that help to shape early really great behavior. The figure skater is free on the ice because of her disciplined practice, right? The golfer is free of frustration on the course if the golfer has attended to really great discipline. It turns out that great discipline also helps us to raise really great and free kids. Okay, so you're probably saying, Dr. Larry, don't leave us though without something to try and to improve and level up our discipline skills. And so I've got something for you. It goes something like this. Talk less. Smile more. No, what do I mean? I actually do mean talk less. One of the biggest discipline traps is that talking seems like action. It seems like we're doing something and that we're putting something into motion. But talking is important, but it certainly is not discipline. I mean, think about your own life. You probably remember that amazing lecture in the winter of 1989 that finally got you cleaning your room consistently, right? That's right. As always, I appreciate you watching, and especially for those who've been participating with your comments below about some of the techniques that you use or have found helpful, especially if it's helping you to gain peace as a parent and also helping you to raise some pretty stellar kids. I want you to stay tuned because we're going to be doing some videos on attachment parenting, strengthening your connection and bond with your kids, and also putting together some more tips for how to do appropriate kinds of discipline that help your kids to be strong and help your home to be strong too. Again, when you share, like, and comment below, that helps us to grow. So, I mean, you've really already done your good deed for the day. You could probably just go to bed at this point, right? I mean, what else could you do today? All right, you probably have some parenting that you need to be doing. So anyway, I take that back. But wherever you are, thanks for watching. Take good care and be well, my friends.